Free disclaimer. Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to the week in review where we recap the previous week and anything extra. So, yeah, we'll kind of go over. I guess I'm technically doing this again because I had a little audio glitch at the start. But basically, we'll just kind of go over this week, I guess, again for repeated, but this time with decent audio. But yeah, this whole week was just reviews and some battle stuff. So. Honestly, man, yeah, I guess just check that stuff out that we did. Okay, I'm seeing the levels are decent right now. Ah, there you go. Yeah. Also, I do want to do more battles with some burst stuff, actually. Burst and metal fight. So probably for that content, you'll try to see more of it. Also, we did the combo challenge this week as well. So, yeah, okay. Now we get back to the main topic. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, so now speaking of which, now I get to re-explain everything without the clapped audio. Amazing. Okay, honestly, this is when you know I should have got a little bit more sleep today before I prepare the live. Yeah, let's just talk about the tournament stuff. Okay, basically, I attended a tournament on the Sunday. That's why I couldn't do anything on the Sunday for the live. Okay, so this was the limited rule sets that we basically tried out. I got 4th place in both events. Basically, it starts off with a 1v1, then a 3-on-3. Limited rule sets is basically where if you use Wizard Rod, Phoenix Wing, Cobalt Drake, 960 Ball, or Orb, it's +1 to your opponent. So if you do Cobalt Drake 960, it's +2 already to your opponent starting the match. And in 3-on-3, for like the finals, whatever, there's no restrictions, just first stage. Okay, now we get to the main topic. Now I get to segue this shit properly. Excellent. Okay, Wizard Rod, what do we think about it? Because I'm telling you right now, probably one of the most annoying combinations to deal with is 960 Ball. Now, I don't think no, I think it's beatable. I just think it's very annoying. But with the limited rule set in mind, I honestly think, I kind of like it for at least 1v1. Because when you consider the fact that Wizard Rod has great stamina, great defense, and kind of hard to burst, for some, it's going to suck. Because basically, if you don't put the effort into trying to think about stuff, you probably won't be able to beat it. I do think there are plenty of attack stuff that can probably KO it. Shark definitely for sure. Phoenix Wing Rush. Tyranobate I think can kind of do it. And Drum Buster, but Drum Buster's a little bit of a gamble on that one. But yeah, forfeiting the points I think honestly makes sense. Before I was kind of against it, but especially when you kind of see it in the playing field, I do kind of feel this was a change that did make a lot of sense for them to do. So, I mean, well, it's not even that they did. It was for one tournament they were testing out this rule set, but that's where we kind of get into the main topic leading into this, which is going to obviously be Cobalt Dragoon. Surprised they didn't actually do any random booster video on the stuff, but let me see if I can just pull it up here. Here we go. So, July is going to be crazy because we got like 3 different releases, which this is our segue. See, I get to do the segue with the proper audio. Molabays.com. Now, I believe we still have, no, actually, I'm supposed to be getting a lot of stock today, so probably a lot of restocking on some of the older UX stuff. I think Dragoon is sold out for now. Random Booster's pretty much done. Maybe we'll do separate ones afterwards, depending on the rates. We do have a bunch of stadiums, but optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. Now, as well, we get to throw in another plug. Just quickly, actually, I do have the Amazon Canada one, but I don't think that's in this link. I forgot to update it, but we do have the influencer link for Amazon, so if you're trying to get Hasbro Beyblade X, yeah, it's another optional way if you want to support the channel, but yeah. Okay, let's talk about this now. Cobalt Dragoon. Very, very excited for this one. And I think this release in particular is going to be interesting because I did do some light testings with Vice Tiger. I haven't had a chance to even finish the other testings that need to be edited. I've been just super, super busy. And I'm not trying to like push myself too much. So hopefully I'll try, probably by this week I'll try to. But Dragoon's interesting because I did think I did think Vice would maybe do a little bit more. Yo, I don't know. I'll try to maybe see either if I can get a friend to help. Otherwise, obviously me and my mom do the testings. But it was doing really bad against Wizard Rod. And the thing is, if you do bad against Wizard Rod, automatically it's already like the release is already down at least one tier, because that's like that's the main release everyone's trying to beat, right? So you're basically heading into July where does anyone really think Black Shell is going to be meta? Like, be honest, like, I just think it's going to be cool. I don't think it's going to be anything else other than that, just neat. But the random booster is goated though. The random booster full set is goated, but you're going to basically have it where Witch Rod's very dominant, and I'm very curious how good is that Cobalt Dragoon going to be and how scary is it going to be. Now, let's kind of get a little bit more into it for it. I remember seeing news about Cobalt brother on my Twitter. I'm pretty sure I posted that, but I said, no, I wasn't even with blue. I posted, I think, with red paint, because that wasn't mine. No, that's edited, bro. That's edited. Now, the big thing with Cobalt Dragoon is that it spins to the left counterclockwise, and you basically are going to get the reverse movement on the stadium, and it's going to always kind of meet that pathway. So basically, look, it's going to be like this every single time against attack stuff. So that is where this becomes a little bit interesting against the attack stuff, and technically balance as well, because that also factors in. Because it's going to interrupt that movement pattern. And technically speaking, if you hard launch stamina or defense, that should also be the same. Did it also show off the string launcher IRL, just kind of showing it? It is actually modified. It kind of reminds me of the burst launchers a bit, which, I don't know. What do you think of, honestly, this is such like a minor thing, but what do you think of the left launcher design compared to like the regular one? I kind of preferred the segments of the black that kind of extended all the way to the end. I don't kind of like the weird hexagon, I guess, they kind of got going there, that's kind of like pulled out on it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a hater. But, it's a nice light blue. It reminds me of the Storm Pegasus Metal Fight launcher for the colors. I don't know. Honestly, I think I just made like a minor rant on the thing. It looks neat. Moving on. Oh, they just mentioned, you can use it on your other grips and accessories if you want. Now, I do want to mention this, okay? You do get a little bit of a comparison in size to Drawn Sword. It does honestly look kind of not too wide, but I do think this should be maybe... It kind of reminds me of like Drawn Dagger in shape, like reversed, kind of, but like it looks a little bit big. I'm just wondering on the weight, because I feel like for Vice Tiger, most people thought it was going to be light, but they thought like 30, 31. Vice Tiger was like 34, but it needed a lot. Vice Tiger needs a lot more weight, actually, to be honest with you. Actually, I don't think Vice Tiger's issue is weight. I think Vice Tiger... Do I even have a PNG of Vice Tiger I can just rant about real quick? Here we go. Vice Tiger, I think... The weight could have been 34 maybe, but then after, the shape of it's not too good for the side profile. But this is like super early thoughts, so I don't know if this is going to be cap in like a week or whatever when I try to do more testings, but... Yeah... Let's go back. Now, actually, we do see a little bit of 260 on the side profile. I did try to kind of get a little bit of a better shot. I'm sure probably there's some other better reference, but I did want to see how much it pokes out. 260, if you kind of look at it carefully, it kind of pokes out a little bit like 160, which does lead me to be a little bit excited for it, because 160 is super good for that big impact and hit. And just basically, 260 will probably be slightly less, but on two sides, like, get that on Tyranno beat for sure. That's going to be very exciting. It does also seem decently thick, kind of like, a little bit thicker than Drawn Dagger, I would say. Did you hear most Unite bits are no, actually no. I did actually look at that tweet carefully. So, they were actually we can talk about this. Do I have a picture? I do have a PNG of Unite. We can talk about this. It's actually a good topic segue, just to go back for 1 second. Let me get the PNG of Vice Tiger. There you go. Okay, so the Unite bit has that little ball there, and everyone was thinking that, including me, that it's going to do something. Especially read carefully on the tweet. If you really paid attention to the video, and I looked at this carefully again, especially the picture of how they got with Unite, it's literally just a camera angle trick that they're doing. Even in the video, it was never protruding that much. Even in the movement pattern, it wasn't doing as they were trying to show it. Like, I don't think defense was ever supposed to actually work on it. Like, technically speaking, if you weak launch it, there is defense there because it holds in the center. I think that's what, like, the email support was kind of saying. I honestly think maybe I'm wrong. I think they just put the ball there just because, maybe not to confuse with regular taper. I don't know, to be honest. The ball doesn't really do anything, though. That's the one thing I think is 100%. Like, I don't know. I do think it's stupid that the main thing you would think it should do something, it doesn't, but it does perform greatly different from taper, so I don't really care too much if it doesn't have that gimmick specifically. Okay, here we go. Yeah, they show the part by part and think, I am a little bit upset though, on that 260, because the 260 does not have sparkles on it. Yeah, this is a very important point to make. I did actually notice that. I guess only for the rare bays they want to put like any of the nice stuff. It kind of reminds me of the Shinobi Random Select where the prize had the colored launcher hooks, but the other ones just had clear ones. Yeah, I mean, more or less it's the same color, I guess. I don't know. Or if you want to waste, like, I think it's like probably like $40 online or something just to purchase a 460, just to ratchet swap it, I guess. But back on the main thing for the blade, the main thing that they basically say is that it just has a little bit of upper. It doesn't look, again, it doesn't look too aggressive. It looks fine. Like, shape-wise, it's not like anything to like boast about, like for something crazy. If it ends up doing really crazy good in performance, that'll be a different story, but I don't know. If it has weights going for it, maybe. Otherwise, I'm not too crazy on the shape here. I don't know. If we have any thoughts on the shape of this thing. 'Cause I mean, visually-wise, it looks nice. I'm just talking about, like, in contact points, like, where it's going to be hitting. Like, it's a little bit up, whatever, but I don't... Doesn't seem like it's going to do too much to, like, scoop up stuff or whatever. Yeah, I mean, anyways, there's also the 260, which we've basically talked about already a little bit. How it basically has on the top and bottom, how it actually just has these, like, basically, I just call them, like, hammers on it. Which I do think 260 has a very cool design. I do like the design a lot of 260. But they do also mention the one thing, which is basically depending if you have this in left or right rotation. So in left rotation, right, counterclockwise, it's supposed to be good for attack, and then after, if you have it on the right rotation, it's supposed to be good for defense. I guess I can kind of see the logic. I think it just sounds silly either way, because those points are going to be hitting regardless. Having it in left or right is not going to magically shift the contact points on it. That's the silly marketing there. That's like, I don't know. Which actually, ironically, speaking of which, it's Cyclone. Cyclone is also funny how they advertise it, because how they're saying it's supposed to do is not what's probably going to happen in reality for it. Because, okay, so if you recall, this was a tip that was, I think the original shape did debut, if I'm wrong, it should be Medio El Drago, LW105 LF, left flat, and then after Los Longinus 9 Spiral. Now, they basically say that, quote-unquote, specifically for the left rotation, this is going to work the best. But in honesty, like, if you use LF on, like, or even Spiral on a right rotating bay, the performance is not really that different to where it would be some change in massively in performance. Like, if you use Spiral on, like, Valkyrie or something, like, there's not much of a difference. I understand because, it's in the shape of the rotation, so it should be able to build up more, like maybe slightly, but I don't know. That was a silly point in the advertisement. I do want to mention, this does seem as big as regular flat, just with like the edges taken out. I do think, in terms of at least kind of how we saw this in the video, it should be speeding like crazy. I don't know stamina-wise how it should do, at least same spin stamina, which is crazy that I get to say that now. I did see in those videos, it did equalize like crazy, but I don't know if that's the blade or if that's the tip. If that's like in combination of both, whoa. Because that's the main thing I want to get into, which is the equalization, but I don't know. Does this mean we'll eventually get Medio Drago with this bit? Well, technically speaking, I do assume regardless, because if you keep on doing these generations, you will have similar shapes, but obviously, yes, that would be also true for what you're saying, that if, let's say, we have a tip that's very similar to something of the past, if they do a remake, would they use it? Probably yes. They do make a battle against Hell Scythe, but I'm very curious why Hell Scythe in the promo video. Like, this is the main video that people are probably going to watch. Like, it does do some nice hits and KOs and whatever, but I don't know. I mean, in the other video, we got so much. It battled, like, Phoenix Wing, Drawn Buster, beat all the attackers, and they just throw it against, like, Hell Scythe? Not even Drawn Buster? So, I don't know. That's what gets me a little bit skeptical. Like, I'm thinking, maybe this is, like, a 34-gram blade or something? I'm gonna give the bold prediction here, and if I'm wrong, you can go back to this live and say, God damn it, you were wrong. I think this blade will maybe be at the 30, it'll be closer to 34 than it will be to 38. That's what I'm going to assume, because I don't know. To make a battle against that, it's just such an odd thing. It's such an odd choice. But, yeah, the main thing we're kind of looking forward to is going to be definitely a lot of equalization in battles. That's going to be a lot of fun. I guess I'll have it on this image, and we'll kind of go into any kind of general discussion and that type of stuff. But in terms of Bey news, we can also probably talk about... No, we have the same... Yeah, we can cover some of the other stuff, whatever, as we talk about it. But, yeah, in the meantime, I'll keep an eye on the chat then, and we'll kind of just... I'll first go over the left and the right stuff, but... After that, I'll just probably give some general updates and whatever. I don't think it's too long usually for these lives. I mean, if you count the start. But no, usually we're kind of relatively short. But in terms of left versus right stuff, I mean, other than the pathway meeting, I think the big thing everyone's trying to look forward to is trying to see how does this do on pure ball and how does this do on disc ball, and will weak launching play a big factor? Because the thing is, with how Beyblade X works, I do think you probably won't be able to get the same leeway as you would in, let's say, Burst Gen or Metal Fight Gen for equalization. Because the base goes super fast, and I don't think at low RPM you're going to be able to do anything. I do wonder, though, if you could still do a slow-mo burst, which, that, I don't know if it's possible on a Ratchet for contact, maybe. But that is, like, the big thing going into it, because... What's going to be really weird is the next 2 weeks, because I know technically speaking this was leaked already, but I know I'm doing air quotes, it was leaked already, one of the August releases, but the thing is, because Cobalt Dragoon is in 2 weeks from now, well, technically more than 2 weeks because it's the 13th, but we're going to have this weird area where I don't know, is the Koro going to be a few days early? Is it going to be also on the 13th? Are we going to have Dragoon and Koro info on the same time? I'm kind of wondering how that's going to work, because we're going to have the paper teaser, obviously, so I'm curious on that. Or it's going to be the Sunday. So in like 3 Sundays from now, then. That's where I'm wondering, but... okay, this is actually a good question. We'll lead into this. Actually, let me first change the image to be the thumbnail now, since we're doing a general discussion before I forget. And then I can give some general updates, and I will answer that question, which does have an answer. So I should be actually getting, probably for tomorrow's video, it's probably going to be the limited rule set, maybe. But, okay, let's answer this one. I'm just starting out to collect Beyblade X. Which set would you recommend? Now, I am working on a purchase guide for Hasbro's Beyblade X Wave 1. It's basically scripted. I just have to record and then edit it. Now, if you mean Takaratomi, that's maybe a different answer then. Looks recoily, but not enough to be used in equalization. Well, maybe not as effectively to be an equalizer, but I mean, it'll probably obviously it'll equalize, but I think it might be okay. Because it's kind of rounded off, but not, I get what you mean, not like too much. Do you think we'll get left spin bays that are defense and stamina types? I hope to God we do not get any more, we get limited lefts, because I don't want it to be like Burst, because Burst, it kind of wasn't special anymore, because you had like Fafnir, Bahamut, it is Bahamut, what is it, Longinus, Spring was dual spin, so you let that one slide, but then after they made Achilles dual spin, it's gotta be special, it's gotta be special. Since I had a shoe moment, I'm needing to practice my left arm for a while. Any suggestions on how to do training on my non-dominant arm? Well, okay. I don't know, just do stretches, man. Just do stretches and just kind of do exercises to try to practice more with it so you can get kind of used to it, I guess. Brother, probably not the best person to ask for that. Due to Cobalt Dragoon, it's almost confirmed we're getting all this in 2020 by 2026. LR launcher, spin steel, dual spin. Yeah, 100%. I mean, probably by season 2, we'll probably get leading into it like dual spin, I'd assume. When Beyblade X is over, what do you think? Bro, we're just starting the first season, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I'll think about that in a few years. Come back in a few years and I'll answer that. I just don't honestly see this being too OP, mainly due to the shape. It might be slightly unbalanced and maybe weight. Well, yeah, the weight's the big factor because the shape doesn't look too crazy. So if the weight's really good, that's going to be the big determining. Like, remember this, Phoenix Wing is not good for its shape. Like, it's okay at best, but the weight carries it. Because anything else that actually has a decent shape against Phoenix Wing, it eats up Phoenix Wing quite a bit. Okay. Sorry, it takes a while to scroll on this thing. What naming system do you like in what Beijing for each individual part? I would say plastic. No, plastic gin is like literally like it's like a thesis per combination to write out. I guess metal fights. I feel like it was kind of simple to understand what each part would probably mean. Burst, it gets way too complicated because they just throw in random adjectives and shit. I mean, X is kind of in between metal fights and burst because it's like literal and then after just adjectives. Or just random words. Got Hasbro X. Tuskman is so far one of my favorites. Do you think competitively will be viable? No. It's ass, bro. It's no, brother. I was going to grab the camera for a second. No, I mean, actually, this is a decent question. If the meta is slightly different in Hasbro versus TT. I am finalizing that tier list video for the Hasbro only stadium. To be honest, aside from maybe I think I bumped a bit or whatever, everything is kind of relatively where it should be. Like, Tusk's issue is not the stadium, it's the stamina and the imbalance. Is it possible to win in a Hasbro stadium? Of course. I do think the Hasbro stadium is personally a little bit less competitive than Takara Tomy. Better pockets, but the space does mess with it. Honestly, if the Hasbro stadium had the TT size in the pockets, it would be like clear TT easy. Oh my god, look at this. Nizuma, everybody. We got the legendary Leon Claw Blader user here. The legendary Leon Claw Blader. Shout out to him. We should be recording his Inkcast this week, hopefully. We were supposed to before, but my schedule got in the way, so I do apologize for that. Why do you think Dragoon won't be 38 grams? I thought they would advertise it, but then after the counter to this would be they didn't advertise for Drawn Buster or Tyrannobeat. It could be 37 grams. I'm not saying it won't. Well, I don't know. It just, you want to know what? Because we thought Weiss Tiger was going to be light and it wasn't. I just don't want it to be heavy. Okay, you want to know what? I'm biased. I don't want it to be heavy. I don't want left spin to be crazy dominant. I want it to be like the ass can kind of get beat. In battle. In the Beyblade battle. We'll go over to the next stuff. I wonder how we'll do in a stamina combination. I think this too, but yeah, probably this. I'm not too sure how much it'll be probably for equalization. Left spin's going to mess up my launch strats for right spin. Need to figure that out. I would think actually it might be a little bit easier to kind of predict if your opponent uses a left bay versus a right bay because for right, there's a lot to consider where you do, but for left, you're just really thinking of the reverse of whatever you would need to do to launch. But yeah, I do agree. It's going to mess me up as well. Made the naming convention the best. True. Do you think Beyblade X should have waited a year before making the anime? Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. I think animation should have enough time to cook. I think Beyblade... I mean... I get a lot of flack for this. I don't like the Beyblade X anime. I think, voice acting's great, sound effects great, music great, the character writing great, and the general story, but the battles and a lot of like the visuals and the art and the animation is just not good. And I understand because it's a hobby animation, whatever, maybe there's slightly a lower bar, but even for Beyblade, man, it's a shame. It's a shame. And I still enjoy the anime for some aspects, mainly in the story, but of course, I would wish they would have given more time. We all want everything to be as good as possible, like, yes. Do you think Hasbro will butcher the name for the Cobalt? I'm pretty sure in the, I think it was the Singapore English video, it's still called Cobalt Drake. Let me say this again. I opened up earlier. Does the plastic can affect the weight distribution? Okay, this is like this, brother. This is crazy typos, bro. I'm a little bit dyslexic myself, but even I have trouble reading this. Yes, where the plastic is distributed does affect how the balance is for the blade, but a lot of it is on the metal because that's the main thing that's going to be on the top of it. But yes, both do factor into each other. What older Beyblade design would you like to see replicating the Beyblade X style? Oh, that's an easy one. The original Spriggan or Storm Spriggan. Those were great designs. Okay. You should have a 5-way Beyblade battle. When we get the 3-player stadium, maybe we'll do it then. When we'll have... Well, this is not Hasbro. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be the premiere. It's the Anime Expo in July, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. Oh, someone already said that. Damn. Bro, see, this is why I hate scrolling on this thing to reach at. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, here you go. Do you think Takara Tomy will sell a left spin winder? Yes. Well, because think about it like this. I assume probably the next one is... What lefts are the most likely to get through? Dragoon S? I'm pretty sure they said they were already working on it. I think El Drago was first in the Metal Fight poll, right? But Dragoon they already have done. I think Dragoon would be next. I think El Drago we should maybe get later, hopefully this year. But, I mean, I love El Drago next, but I assume the random select in September should be Storm Pegasus, Dragoon S, and then after... Victory Valkyrie for the remakes, or whatever, the crossovers. I would assume probably after September, maybe October, November, like fall, you'd probably see it. I don't remember. I think, wasn't it Lost Longinus had the string, and then after we got a winder, but I don't know how much of a gap that was, so someone's gonna have to correct me on the memory lapse that I have. Won't be published on the official... No, it'd be Cartoon Network or whatever. The IRL battles are more exciting than the anime sometimes. Well, honestly... It's kind of funny because this is actually true, to be honest. Like, usually for all the battles in the previous gens, like, yeah, the anime does do a little bit hype, but, yeah, no, I agree. Coming off burst, the animation high. Okay, yeah, decent high, I guess. X is disappointing in that regard, yeah, but, you know, also, it's just bad circumstance for production. Like, obviously, I just think they just had no time to work on anything. The main reason X is made from the jump from burst battles to X, they're slower pace and they don't have the intensity. Yeah, that's also true, because the pacing is the same as burst almost, and X is supposed to be a lot faster. Do you think Phoenix is in the deck set in August? I would assume it is. If it's not, I don't know. I mean, bro, we already know one of them's in August. If you saw the chapter of comment... Oh, okay, I have to know. Spoilers, okay. Spoilers. If you care about spoilers, mute now, because I'm about to say. The chapter, by the way, after it's done, I'll come off of this, but when Common Y challenged Burn specifically said there was a new bay being worked on, so if it's not in August, I'll be surprised. Okay, now no more spoilers. There you go. Let's see, what else? Have you heard about this factory error on... Yeah, actually, I saw this. I saw Shindog posted from the WBO. Yo, that is crazy. So basically I saw there was Chain Incendio, and for some reason there's a print error where, and probably it's an unlimited batch I would assume, but the 560s were 580s, which that is a crazy factory error. That's a little bit of an L, I'm not gonna lie, but that's not like, this is more surprising I saw. I went to fully clear Cobalt Dragoon Recolor, not like opaque, but like fully, like kind of like, I don't think we'd get lucky for that, probably. What are the chances that we get an LR winder launch, or like this? Probably once we get dual spin, probably then. Hey, I just got, oh my god, I can't scroll on this thing. Hey, I just got here. Do you think Season 2 of Beyblade X, they will release a dual spin winder and a string? I mean, if they do dual spin, potentially. For the anime, I like the art style, it's just the animation. Well, technically, I don't like to rag on X too much, because I know a lot of people like it. and it's like their, comfort anime, I guess. But even the art's kind of inconsistent. Like, dude, I think there was one episode where everything was like super good on model, and like after seeing that, like I've just lost it all for hope. But yeah, I don't want to dog on it. I don't want to try to. Anyways, if OLM didn't animate X, which studio? I don't, bro. I want to be honest. I think OLM was the only option that they could have had to probably do it. I don't even think. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think it's the studio issue or like the specific team that does it. I think it's literally just like no time. They had no time to probably effectively have to. I mean, dude, to go from like Quad Strike to X, I don't think there's that much of a time frame. But I don't know how the behind the scenes work. I mean, last time I tried to figure that out, it did not go well. Next, Phoenix. Yeah, I would assume Phoenix should probably be next. I would agree. But, yeah. Oh, actually, okay, I clapped. I hope that wasn't too loud. Let's go for some general updates for this week. So I do want to get out those testing videos. You're going to see 2 big videos this week, which is probably going to exhaust me a little bit. But I do plan to do the tier list video for Wave 1 of Hasbro Beyblade X. And that'll basically be every single wave will update it. And for future Takeratomi releases, like for an example, Cobalt Dragoon or whatever I review, I will always have an up-to-date tier list on every Takeratomi review. I'll try to. Because I know a lot of people ask me to do these like TT tier list videos, and it's not that I don't want to. I mean, you could do a video now if you wanted, like your thoughts currently, but I prefer to do it end of season. But I do understand people wanting to know per month or whatever, just their thoughts on it. So I'll try to format that properly, but you can expect those videos in the purchase guide to be this week. Obviously, I want to do this video of my thoughts on the limited rule set, and do I think Wizard Rod should be banned? What do I think of the points, that type of stuff? Those testing videos I want to get out. I've been tired. And the Black Hell's Chain, the Green Goblin Hell's Chain. Unfortunate. In terms of other stuff, though, in terms of, like, coverage and talk, I don't know what's the topic going to be for next week. I know, again, like, we've gotten the August thing technically leaked out because of the Hong Kong retailer or whatever that put it up for, like, quite a bit of time and then after tried to axe it out. But I mean, even for like the Zankcast, like I'll probably wait until we get like more picks because I kind of want to flesh out more of a discussion. So probably then for like any other new stuff, I'll probably go through that. Well, I'll hit up on some other stuff just to read through. When will Bird win? You're funny. You're funny. You're a funny person. Let's see what else. The only way to improve on Phoenix is to make the layer like 40 and just give it a black XL. True. Yeah, just make it like just do like dead Phoenix colors or something like that. Yeah, of course. But anything. My God. Something tells me the Common X will adopt less spin and make a dual spinning. I don't know. Listen, I know probably a lot of us are burst brained, but I kind of want to avoid it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have what burst had. I don't even hate burst. I don't like the direction things were done for. If that makes sense. Dude. I love a lot of the burst stuff, but I don't know. But yeah, aside from that. So, probably tomorrow will be my thoughts on the limited rule set. I mean, technically I already did it, but now I actually tried it and my thoughts on Wizard Rod in general. Probably Wednesday you'll see, and this might be interchangeable, so this might be swapped, but you will see a purchase guide, and then after Thursday, Wave 1 tier list for Hasbro, Friday episode review, and then after Saturday, probably the Zankcast maybe, or whatever. But then after that's probably, maybe I'll do more Vice videos, I don't know. Do you think Phoenix might get a different type? I would honestly hope that they do that, and I'll explain why. I think it's kind of interesting if characters, and I'll speak generally, just in case someone's wondering, and I'll try to be as vague as possible, even though I did the video earlier today. I would like it if for Beyblade X, not only do they own variants of Beys, but different types. Because I just think it'd be kind of interesting if they just really diversify kind of like the tool set that the Blader has. Because we kind of got that in like Burst GT, but they never really expanded on it. So, I don't know. Yeah, but aside from that, I'm trying to double check. Is there anything else? Are Bay tournaments in Canada only open to residents, or can tourists enter as well? If you're talking about WBO events or whatever, yeah, anyone can go to a WBO event. You just have to follow the registration and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like other stuff like official Hasbro stuff, tournaments, I don't know. I would probably assume you can play whatever, either way. Is it normal that my Hasbro X bays have a bit of rattle? I don't know. Probably just RNG with the quality control. I do have a funny thing before we end off. I think my taper on my Hasbro Scythe Incendio is literally like the plastic is bent on the inside of that hole, which usually doesn't happen. So I'm a little sad on that. Is TT going to make a Vermilion Bird Beyblade in a single release, since we have obviously all the bucket and shoot references? I would love to see that. I don't know. Because Pendragon only has 3 members, and I don't know if they're going to... 3, I did the 4 sign. 3 members? I don't know. But, yeah. Probably for any general stuff, just as we start wrapping up, I will be debating in the future on kind of what info kind of comes out. Because it's very tricky on coverage, and I want to be kind of a little bit careful. But, I mean, for the August one, we're going to get that info kind of in like 2 weeks anyways. So I was like, it's not really that big of a deal. And there's still a Phoenix stuff. Well, not Phoenix. I want it to be Phoenix. I don't know. Whatever the deck set's supposed to be. So, UX06 and the other one, I hope for both of them. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the full information in 2 weeks. Because, I mean, with how info comes, there's like the app that basically leaks all the stuff. Well, not leaks, but it's basically there. Or it's very easy to find that information. And that's kind of fair game. But then after it kind of gets, kind of weird in this gray area, because, like, I mean, the thing that came out today is, like, dude, it's impossible to kind of avoid this information. So, I don't know. I'll probably for the future, if something like this happens again, I'll probably avoid it. Maybe. But if it's something like a literal store has it up, then I think that's probably fair game. Because I remember the UX got revealed by an official store way ahead of time for like the official image release. But, the time frame does matter in that context. But yeah, obviously I know some probably aren't too excited if they see a release way ahead of time for info. Some don't care, but, I'm very considerate for these things, so I'll see. So maybe just that one time I'll do the video and probably not again. They seem to have figured out how to block people from getting the models from the app. Well, there's still technically the textures and stuff, so if they block off that, then maybe GG's. You think we'll get more team referencing the main motifs like in Metal Fights and that'd be sick if they do that per season, actually. Is it normal for the needle on Helm Knight to be worn after like 3 days? It depends on use, but I mean, yeah, if it's super sharp, it's not going to stay sharp if you keep on using it, right? Because it's like this. It'll probably be like a little bit worn. But yeah. Yeah, aside from that... Actually, that could be... Oh, I almost missed this one. A question. Should we store our X-bays or better in single parts? Oh, like, should you store your bays all put together or separate? I mean, that's just personal preference. I just keep everything stored all together. Just for ease, but I don't know. If you're not a person that cares about anime stock combos and just playing, yeah, you could probably keep it separate. Doesn't really matter. Just keep them sealed, because you don't want the metal to oxidize, right? So, yeah. Yeah, aside from that, I think we pretty much covered all the topics. Okay. So, yeah, we pretty much went over everything this week. I don't want to repeat myself. Someone please remind me to cut the earlier start of this where my audio sounded like an Xbox Live mic because I accidentally hit the lower sound on my mic and then after it just popped back up. So I apologize for anyone who kind of got slapped on the ears on that. I will try to fix that afterwards. But hey, thank you for the support on the Monday, everyone. Will you also have a random booster in September? Yes, my friend. But, okay, now we're going to be wrapping up here. So I want to say thank you for all the support, everyone. I'll definitely keep my eye on this stuff for the future for all info comes out, since I'll be a little bit careful. But again, it depends on the circumstance and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. Maybe I'll try to think of maybe some way in the future to maybe do a spoiler warning, maybe? Maybe. Actually, that could be an interesting question. I'll think about that maybe for the future. Actually, that'll be a good question to end off with. For future stuff, let's say something happens like the thing that happened in the morning with the release that got revealed ahead of time, let's say by a couple of weeks. Unless, I don't know, unless the YouTube meta everyone puts in the thumbnail, yeah, does it matter to you, the viewer, if it's in the thumbnail or not? Do you prefer if it's a surprise? Because if majority are going to say I prefer if it's a surprise, then I can just change the thumbnail to be maybe a silhouette, but then after, yeah, maybe I could do something like, I don't know, that's just for the reference. Okay, anyways, thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, take care, and bye. Hey, got the explosion.